In many ways, poetry is a love letter to language, and as such, it's important to read it out loud so you can find those rhythms and those moments and play with the sounds as the author intended. And as you read Beowulf, I encourage you to do so. As a poem with oral roots, this was recited for the vast majority of its living history. People didn't just read it alone in their dorm rooms or in their bedrooms because a professor assigned it. No, the poem was recited by a shope, or a bard essentially, in the mead hall, surrounded by people feasting, eating, and drinking. And so it was a communal activity, and it was vocalized. And so it's important to capture that as much as you can. Fortunately, Yavapai College won't provide us with a mead hall, but nevertheless, reading it aloud will give you some small idea. So it will bring you closer to the poem, essentially. So I encourage you to do so. In pursuit of that effort, what I'm going to do now is read a selection from Beowulf. I'm going to begin on line 3137 and go to 3148 of the Seamus Heaney translation. Heaney worked hard to try to capture as much of the rhythms and sounds of the Old English as he could. That being said, even though it's very good, it's not perfect. And so I'm going to read his translation, and then I'm also going to recite the same passage in Old English to give you an idea of what that would have sounded like. So let's begin with the modern English translation. The Geat people built a pyre for Beowulf, stacked and decked it until it stood foursquare, hung with helmets, heavy war shields, and shining armor, just as he had ordered. Then his warriors laid him in the middle of it, mourning a lord far famed and beloved. On a height they kindled the hugest of all funeral fires. Fumes of wood smoke billowed darkly up. The blaze roared and drowned out their weeping. Wind died down, and flames wrought havoc in the hot bone house, burning it to the core. Awesome stuff, right? Very powerful. And you get a lot of that power from the Old English as well, perhaps even more. As I recite this, I want you to listen for that alliteration, how those initial consonants are the same, and they add unity and power and strength to the poetry. So, same spot in the actual Anglo-Saxon. Him thalia yeredin yeta leoda adon eothen unwek likna hilmin behungum hildebodum beoctum bunum swahed benewas Alegden thou tominus, Merne theoden, Halle Theofinda, Halabad Leovena, Onganen thou Beoya, Velfira mast. We in the weekend, Uderechasta, Swert over Swedela, Swayenda lay, Wopa by wunden, windblown ye lay. Oh, that hath thought bonehus, ye broken hafta, hot on Hrethra. It's powerful stuff there too. And by hearing that Old English aloud, you get some small idea of what it would have been like there.